Welcome back to my video, guys. I just want to apologise again for not posting yesterday. I have been behind this week. I've just had a lot of college stuff going on with us supposed to be returning back to college next week, but turns out we're not. We're actually returning on the 15th, which is kind of annoying, but you can imagine that that does bring on a lot of stress, and that's kind of why I wanted to do this video that I'm doing today on top tips for starting college, as when it got to this time for me last year, I was all over colleges. I was like, oh, I need to do this, I need to get this ready and everything. But before I start the video, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone, because I've reached over 100 subscribers already in like less than 2 weeks. 2 weeks yesterday actually, and I am just so happy and I'm so proud of myself. So I just wanted to come on here and say thank you to all of you for that. So thank you. But now, someone's dog isn't happy. If you can hear noises coming from outside, I've got my window open because it's so hot in the house. So sign on with the video. I actually wrote down loads of top tips that could help last night when I was in bed, and I just think that it is, for me, it's really important to kind of plan what you want to do, and that's what I did for months before I went to college because I was so worried about everything. But my number one top tip, so my very first top tip, is make sure you have chosen the right course for you. And I cannot stress this enough, because you do not want to choose the wrong course and then find out that you want to change it months later. With the college that I go to, they kind of gave it to about mid-October time for when you were able to change your course if you wanted to, because theoretically you would be able to catch up on the last couple of months that you would have missed. But I still know people now from other colleges as well that, especially during this lockdown time, have kind of figured out that they don't want to do the courses that they're on because they finally figured out what they really want to do. And so obviously they're then dropping out of their courses that they're doing to try and find a different course. But in my personal opinion, I don't always think that that is the best idea to do. So obviously I would definitely make sure you have chosen the right course for you, and this is why I think you need to plan out what you want to be when you're older, or where you at least want to start off, because choosing the right course is kind of going to determine that for you. Obviously for me, straight away I knew I wanted to do performing arts, and I'd been looking at the college that I'm going to for years before I even went there. So it is definitely all about choosing the right course and just looking for the right things. But my second top tip is work out how to get to college and how long it's going to take you, because I have friends that live really far away from college, so they have to take like 2 buses just to get there. So if that's someone like you and you haven't got a bus pass or something like that sorted out yet, make sure you get yourself a bus pass sorted out before the time college comes, because you don't want to have to be stressing at last minute about how you're going to get to college. Maybe if your parents can't take you, it's going to take too long to walk. It will just make everything so much easier if you plan ahead when it comes to that. Luckily, I only live like 10-15 minutes away from my college, so it's not too bad for me. And to be fair, I would go on walks in my free time to see how long it would take me to get to college, but I always leave 15 minutes, well, I would get there 15 minutes early, because you would rather be early than have to end up running into your class because you've been late because you didn't sort out your travel. So always sort out how you're going to get there, whether it's your parents driving you, a bus pass, or you're walking, or even if you're riding a bike. See how long it takes to ride your bike to college. My third top tip, do your research. This links in with the first one, but do your research not only on the course that you want to do, but about the college that you want to do, and whether or not it's near your local area. Would you prefer to go to one in your local area and maybe it's not as good as another one that's slightly further away, but is that going to benefit you? So do all your research before you instantly go, okay, I'm going to that college, or oh, I feel like I have to go to this college because it's close to me. If you want to go to a college that you think will be better off for you and the course that you want to do, then go to that college. Don't let anything like travel or maybe money for buses and maybe food whilst you're at the college. Don't let that determine where you want to go or where you want to kind of stay to do your course. So yeah, do all your research. I was doing research months and months and months before I read every single word that was on my new college like course page, I think it's called. And yeah, just I think it's best just to know everything about your course and what you want to do. So number 4, get organised and prepared. This is more in terms of like stationery, books, because at the start of each year you're going to be given so much information about your course, not only from like your teachers but online as well, especially during the COVID stuff. I don't know how it will be by the time you newcomers will kind of get to go into college. Hopefully COVID will not be gone but will be settled by then, so we can kind of work around the whole COVID system and stuff. But yeah, get organised. And this for me, I thought I had enough stationery. I lost it all. And obviously we weren't even allowed to give our pens away from people, and I still lost them because I had like 3 or 4 different bags that I'd take to college. I had like a rucksack, I had a small handbag, I had a big handbag, and then I had different stationery in every bag. And then it would come to the day, I'd rush out the door, get to college and find out I've either left a hairband. I have forgotten a hairband so many times. It actually came to a point where one of my friends had to keep spare hairbands in her bag because she knew that when it came to our dance day, I would forget one. I mean, hopefully when I go back, I won't be so forgetful anymore, but be prepared. Like, have everything that you need, because I can guarantee you will lose something. Like, it's guaranteed. Just be prepared. I know everyone's usually like, oh yeah, don't get too much or anything. You would rather get too much and be able to go get something out of your drawer or wherever you keep your stationery than get too little and have to go out and buy even more and spend even more money on it. So I would definitely say I'd rather get too much than get too little. But my top 5, well, my number 5 point is make friends. This for me, I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it actually was, because I was like, oh hey, I'm going to be with like my people, you know, the people who are kind of like exactly like me, because all performing arts students and everything. But it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, because I didn't feel like I fitted in, and that was probably a me problem, because obviously anxiety and everything. I was like, no, I don't fit in with these people. Like, what if they don't like me? What if, you know, they just don't want to be around me? But I made one friend, like one really close friend, right at the start of college. Like the first day we met, obviously we became like really close friends, and I am friends with everyone at my college now. Like, we all get along and stuff. It's just, for me personally, with my anxiety, I am constantly like, oh no, oh, I didn't get invited to this, they don't like me. So I would try and make friends as soon as possible with everyone you can. Obviously you don't want to be the overbearing person when you're like, oh hi or anything, but you do want to kind of, you don't want to isolate from everyone else, because then they'll kind of, it will come across like to them that you don't want to talk to them, which I'm sure is not the problem at all. It's just, obviously you never know what's going through someone else's mind. So at least if you put yourself out there and you try and do your best to make friends, then you know that there's nothing else that you could have done, and that is all you can really do to make friends. So yeah, number 6, don't be afraid to ask for help. It will probably seem terrifying at first to ask your teacher as well. I have a really embarrassing moment. I didn't know what to call my teachers, because I didn't know one of my teachers' name, very first lesson. And like, I went to put my hand up and I was like, no, you don't put your hand up in college anymore, do you? And I was like, oh gosh, what do I do? So I put my hand up and I was like, miss, and I was like, everyone just looked at me and I was like, oh gosh. I was like, I shouldn't have said miss, should I? I was like, I forgot her name. Bright red cheeks as well, because I naturally have blushed cheeks anyway. And I was just like, oh, it's so embarrassing. Very first day, and I embarrassed myself straight away. But I mean, at least I got it over and done with. But yeah, don't be afraid to ask help. But that, me asking her, me calling on my teacher, that was me trying to ask her for help. And although I embarrassed myself in front of everyone, I still then got the help that I needed because I was confused on the work that we were doing. But I mean, over time, once you get to know your college teachers, obviously it's a lot easier to talk to your college teachers, obviously when you're at college, compared to when you go to secondary school. Because in secondary school, I feel like it's very, oh yeah, I'm the teacher and you're the student, whereas at college it's more like, yes, I'm your teacher, but I'm here for you if you need me, which I feel like it's just very different compared to secondary, which if I'm being honest, I didn't really think that I could talk to my teachers at secondary. But whereas now that I'm at college, if I've got an issue, I know I can go to my tutor straight away, and there's loads of people at the college that can help me, especially if, you know, I have a panic attack or I'm not quite feeling well. Obviously I'll go speak to one of them, and then obviously I'll either just have like a timeout and I'll just kind of breathe, or I'll just go home for the rest of the day. But don't be afraid to ask for help, is that point basically. Number 7, don't waste your free time. I do this way too much, and I'm starting to realize now that because I have wasted so much free time that I have been given, I feel like I'm behind and I feel like I'm not quite where I want to be. So you will most likely have, sometimes I have 2 hours, like on a Wednesday I have 2 hours between my lessons, and I would just waste that time. I'd go into town, I'd go get Mackies, or I'd go get a Subway, and I just hang around the college for 2 hours for no reason. But what was I saying? I completely just lost my track of thought. But yeah, if, for example, if you do live close to college, which I do, and I mean, that's what I'm saying, I wasted time. I could have just gone back home, studied on whatever it was that I learned in that lesson, took notes, because the more I go through my folders of what I've got from college, it looks like I haven't done anything, which obviously isn't the case. But always try to keep track of everything you have. And it's all right to kind of have some free time, be like, oh well, yeah, I'm gonna go into town with my friends, but I constantly wasted every single bit of free time I had. Instead of going to the library and doing research on what I had to get, I just left everything to last minute, and that doesn't really turn out very well, especially for me, because there's this book that I wanted, and then we got sent into lockdown and I couldn't get it for months, and then by the time we were able to go back into the library at college, it was too late. So I was like, left it to last minute, and my work was due already, and I never even got the book in the end. So it wasn't really helpful that I chose to waste all my free time. So do not waste your free time. Number 8, attend all your lessons. This one is so big, because if you don't attend your lessons, you will miss out on coursework, and then the lesson after, they'll then be talking about what you missed out on. Obviously, if it's for medical reasons, it's absolutely fine to miss a lesson, but ask if they can record that lesson. Obviously with COVID, that's what they do. Yeah, ask if they can record the lesson, and then you can catch up. But I know that certain teachers in secondary, like some of my siblings' teachers, they don't always record their lessons. So if they miss a lesson, obviously they can't catch up or anything. But that cold air is getting straight to my throat. But yeah, just attend all your lessons, because I know some people from other colleges, like I've said, who haven't attended all their lessons, and it's just put them so far behind, if I'm being honest. But I mean, I attended all my lessons. I think I missed one once because I just felt so sick. I felt like I couldn't move, but then I still attended my lesson in the afternoon. So yeah, I am back. Sorry about that. I had to cut the video quickly because my throat got so bad, and it's not COVID, don't worry. I feel like every time I say that my throat's bad, people are like, oh my god, she's got COVID. It's not COVID, I just have a bad throat because of all the singing I've had to do recently. Like, I had to do this trio yesterday, so that just destroyed my voice. But yeah, I'm all good now. I think we're on tip number 9 now, and it's believe in yourself. College can get really tough and really difficult sometimes, but you just have to be able to believe in yourself, because believing in myself is the only thing that gets me through sometimes. Especially during all this lockdown stuff and having to do college online all the time, I have no motivation to do it some days. And some days I'm like, oh, I've got a one-to-one with my singing teacher, and although it's only 20 minutes long, I'm still like, I can't do it, I'm not gonna be able to do it, I'm gonna sound really bad over like the call. And then I kind of try and put myself into that space where I'm like, no, you can do it. Don't stress about how you can't do it, because it will eat you up inside. Like, sometimes just believing in yourself, or writing down, maybe if you struggle to kind of think about how you can believe in yourself, maybe write down certain things that you can do in a day, or write down something that makes you happy and then go and do that thing, even if it's going out for a walk for like 10 minutes around the corner of your street or something. If that will make your mind kind of be clear and that will make you happier, do it, because it is 100% worth it. Because I would rather that you do something like that than get all worked up and then not be able to do something in your lesson, or have to leave the lesson because you're afraid that you can't do it. Like, when you're in college, you feel so good, and when you get to hang out with friends and you do group projects, you don't want to be the one having to like let everyone down because you're afraid that you can't do it. Like, you might as well just go for it. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's probably not going to happen again. Like, when you go to college, that is your chance to kind of become who you want to be, because obviously there's not loads of pressure. Obviously you've picked your course already, you just then got to go along with your course. So be whoever you want to be, show people who the real you is. As long as you believe in yourself, you can do all of that. And I generally think it's such a big thing to try and remember. Like, if you take anything from this video, take the fact that I'm saying believe in yourself. When you go to college, you will need to believe in yourself, otherwise you're just going to struggle to get through it. But I know that everyone out there, I know that you will believe in yourselves. Or if you don't, find something or someone to cheer you up, or just someone to talk to. And like I mentioned in my last video about all that, like, you can be going through the toughest time in the world, but you will recover from it. You will get over the mountain, if it is sometimes, and you come out at the end and you'll be like, I just did it. I did everything that I was afraid of. So yeah, just believe in yourself, basically. And my 10th and final one is be prepared for criticism. You will get criticism, or you will get feedback, as they like to call it. I feel like I get a lot of feedback, but I also get a lot of positives at the same time. I mean, for me, I like getting feedback. If I don't sing so great and everyone just tells me, oh yeah, you did so well, like, oh, you did amazing, that was great, that was good. But then if I get no negative things about what I did wrong, I will constantly feel like I haven't done it correctly. Because if all I get is positivity, then how do I know that people aren't just trying to be nice and not hurt my feelings? So it sounds weird, I personally like to get criticism when it's about like my singing and my dancing and my acting, because then it's something that I then know that I can improve on. So obviously that for me is a big thing. So I thought maybe for some of you out there, you have to be prepared for criticism, because you either don't mind it, because with the industry that I want to go into, I have to be ready for it. But if you're maybe going into an industry that you're probably not going to be getting as much criticism as, for example, like actors and all kinds of people like that, maybe just kind of prepare yourself for the fact that some of your teachers or even like fellow students will say whether or not they think that you need to improve on something. And it won't always come across nasty, like it can come across like really nice, but I feel like if you don't know how to take that advice, you're really going to struggle, because it is all what it's about. The only way you're going to improve is being told what you've done wrong, not in a bad way, but obviously what you need to improve on. So I do think that it's important to kind of prepare yourself for that, because not everyone does, and then they go in, they get criticism, and then obviously they go home and they get really upset about it, which, I mean, depending on what that person has said, yeah, you have a right to get upset about it, but then you have to come back from that. You could be like, you know what, you've told me that I can't do this, so I'm gonna go practice, and I'm gonna prove you wrong, because I can do it, and I believe in myself that I can do it. So as long as you think that you can do it, you can prove everyone wrong. If they want to give you some criticism or some feedback, take that feedback and show them that you're able to kind of work on what they've given you, and it will all work out fine, like perfectly fine, I promise. But that is it for today's video. I will be uploading a video on Sunday, I promise. It won't be late or anything, it will be on time. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a subscribe and a like and a comment, and I will look forward to seeing you all on Sunday. Bye.